What's going on?
Okay, are we good?
I think so.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Let's Talk CFL podcast. I don't know what the episode is. It's 598, I think, maybe 599. We'll see in a little bit, but no big deal. Welcome to Let's Talk CFL. We're going to talk some football tonight. We haven't been around for a couple of weeks. Couple of good reasons for that. Mostly, I just keep forgetting that there's supposed to do a show, but there really hasn't been a hell of a lot to talk about. So we are just kind of cruising on and forgetting about the whole thing. So kind of moving on, and we're going to introduce a panel here. We got Charles Cliff, BC Lion fan. How you doing, Charles? Abbotsford, British Columbia.
I'm doing good. Hello to you too as well. It's been a few weeks, but here we are back again. There's a few things going on. I mean, nothing major, but a couple of stories that's kind of got people talking. I think we're going to talk quite a bit tonight about Ed Hervey. Probably not for good reason, but whatever. It's it should be interesting. Nice. It's starting. We're getting to that point of time the year now where I'm kind of ready for football to start. The weather's getting better, and you're getting into the springtime, so I'm getting ready and hoping we get through these next few weeks and on to training camp soon. So,
the training camp's got to come up soon. We're gonna have where'd Will go? Anyhow, we got the draft coming up first, and then we're gonna go straight into training camp beginning of May. What are we? We're the end of March. We're like 6 weeks away from football. It's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome to the show, William McDonald. How are you? Calgary, Alberta. He's not answering me.
Uh-oh.
We've lost him again. So something
No,
about
I'm here.
Mike?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I'm here.
There you go.
I'm here.
I introduced you well. Welcome to the show.
Did you? Hello. I'm here.
There you go.
I want to get one thing clear. And you will never, ever, ever, ever find me at a Carney rally. Okay. That is Steven Sparksman's thing. Okay. He looks like a Carney kind of guy. And I'm not going to discuss politics at all. I'll tell you, I'm not going to be at a Carney rally. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Other than that, on that one.
Other than that, there hasn't been much going on with football. The occasional thing I did read the stuff about Randy Ambrosi, so we can talk about that later on. And so that's why we haven't been on. There hasn't been much on. Now, my brother has expressed an interest in coming on.
Okay.
And he has downloaded his
Microsoft Teams,
his Teams stuff. So I think the next time we have, give me some notice and I'll let him know and he can be on. So
why don't you? I don't know if he's my friend on Facebook, but why don't you add him to our chat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can do that.
Idea.
Okay,
it's a good idea.
If you add him to our chat, then he can, he'll know what's going on and what's happening and everything else like that, and then he can join in and everything is good.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to have Rick back on.
That's a good plan. Yeah, because he's actually really starting to piss me off. So
he's your brother.
All the more reason to bring him on.
We're talking politics, and it's like, really, and I just can't tell my brother on a regular basis to fuck off. Okay, it's against my religion. So that's all.
He lives in Abbotsford.
I know he does.
And that's like a right-wing riding if I've ever seen one. I was there forever.
Not with him. I tend to wonder if he's trying to be like Christopher Jones and just fucking rattle my cage or something, okay?
Oh, because okay. Yes, that could be.
He's doing a good fucking job of it.
Okay.
Anyways, I just added him to our.
We really don't know. You and I are kind of on the same wavelength. We really don't know what Charles's politics are. He kind of keeps them to himself. Probably a good idea. So, we shouldn't talk politics on our football chat. It
No,
would
we
be bad.
shouldn't. We shouldn't. But
I will not vote for the red guys.
the red guys, who are they?
Liberals.
Bingo.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said that, Charles, because now I don't have to unfriend you, okay? Or
Right.
don't have to unfriend you ever, okay?
Well,
But you're right. Let's not talk politics.
depends
No,
on if
that's
he
not.
votes for the orange guys, because that's worse. Okay.
Well, no,
That's
no,
not happening either.
Okay. Good.
Anybody but not the liberals, okay? Anybody but not the liberals.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So we're talking football. We're not going to do this, okay? Let's not do
No,
it.
we're not.
Oh, Rick's here. Does he want to come on to the show tonight?
I'm waiting to see
I
what
don't
the
know.
celebrities say.
You talk to him back and forth. Maybe
Okay.
not in our chat, but you can, because otherwise my thing is going to fuck off and go away.
Yeah.
Okay. So
He can
the
click
first
the
thing
link.
What's that?
If he wants to, if he's in the chat, he can click on the link to join if he wants.
Yes, he can join the link. And that would jump right in, and that would be fine too. Okay, first thing on the agenda is the CFLPA sent a letter to the league. Regarding Elks regarding comments from Elks general manager Ed Hervey. Well, what do they want the league to do? He didn't badmouth anybody. He didn't do anything else. He just I could be wrong here, but did he just not say, well, there's not any superstars in the CFL today? Am I wrong? Or
essentially, that's what he said. Yeah.
Okay. And he even quantified that by saying what he deems to be a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll start with Charles. Can you name me one player in the CFL that you consider to be a superstar?
Right now, it's tough. Some people may say Zach Caleros based on, recent overall play and stuff like that. You could make that case. There are people that might make a case for Nathan Rourke. But in general, no. I mean, there's not the real, we've seen players in the past, like standout players, like, Pinball Clemens in the past, and the guy that was on your glass before, Joe Cap, and all these guys that were like standout guys that you just identified as kind of like the face of the league. You really don't have that right now. It's there's a lot of very good players in the CFL, but are there any that really stand out? I mean, if you look at like the standings and the rushing yardage and the passing yardage, and you'll see like guys that are 300-400 yards ahead of other guys. That's a superstar. But what you got now are a bunch of guys jumbled. There's a lot of very good players, but is there really a standout face in the league? There really isn't.
Okay, I agree with you. We have had players. I mean, Doug Flutie, Cameron Wake, Alex Singleton. These are top-notch superstar players that have either gone on to the NFL and moved on in their career, or just been amazing within the CFL. And we've had superstars. We just don't have any right now. If you look at our leading receiver last year, which was Justin McInnes, he wasn't head and shoulders above anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a Canadian, and that's amazing for a Canadian, but that's kind of like being the tallest midget. I mean, it's not superstar status. Bo Levi Mitchell won the league's title for most passing yards. He missed the playoffs. You can't call him a superstar in this capacity. You can't, right? Brady Oliveira won the rushing title, but William Stanback was beating him most of the year until he got benched. So nobody is a superstar.
And like the other thing too is like superstar. You think a guy like maybe Mike Pringle, a guy that won the rushing title, but he won it with like 2,000 yards rushing, not 1,300. Like an exceptional player.
Well, Christopher, you kind of look like Rick with hair.
Hello, Rick.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey, we got Rick McDonald here onto the show. This is Will's brother. He's a Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan from Abbotsford, British Columbia.
Yeah.
Condolences.
We got 2 Abbotsford people in, so we're like winning.
And previously a third. I was living
Yeah,
there
you
too
used to be in Abbotsford.
for 10 years.
No.
Was it 10 or 20? I don't know. 25 years or something. Anyhow, I'm not there anymore. Yeah, so we're just talking about Ed Hervey and his inability to keep his mouth shut and stick his foot in his mouth. Oh my God, what happened to Rick? He just went all over the place. And
He's showing off his
the
house.
fact that he said that there are no superstars in the CFL. And at this point in time, we're not arguing with him because there aren't any superstars in the CFL.
Did Joe tell you to leave, Rick?
Well, she doesn't want to listen to me, so I'll go to another room.
Okay. Hello, Joe.
Will says hello, Joe.
I'll say hello, Joe, too, but I don't know Joe.
Joe's
I'm,
Rick's
actually,
wife.
I'm actually in Parksville at the moment.
Oh, that's
Huh.
right. You're in Parksville. Okay. He likes to vacation.
It's over on Vancouver Island, if anybody who doesn't know where Parksville is.
No, he's showed up early for the Vancouver exhibition game. That's why he's there.
Okay.
He's gonna wait.
Yeah.
It's a hot ticket, isn't it?
Apparently.
Turn yourself
So-
sideways just a little bit there, Rick, so that light isn't in your camera.
There
we go. That's better. Excellent. Okay, so William, what's your thoughts on this Ed Hervey and not?
I while you and Charles were talking lots and lots and lots, I'm thinking and I'm racking in my brain who I would consider a superstar, who I would consider a superstar in the CFL. And I guess Zach Collaros, maybe, but
Maybe 4 years ago.
yeah,
He's winding down. He really is. He's showing his age.
The Vag was having a good year last year. He could have thrown for 6,000 yards. He would have been a superstar at that point.
Could have,
Would
but
have
he
been.
didn't stay.
But it
Would've.
didn't
healthy,
happen.
and he hasn't for a few years.
I mean, we could tone it down and say Canadian superstars. Who would that be? That would be
Justin McInnes.
the Philpott brother in Montreal. He's a bit of a superstar.
Brady,
maybe. Yeah, Brady, I guess.
I mean, before you came on, I said Brady Oliveira won the rushing title, but William Stanback was beating him right across the board all season, right up until the Lions benched him. And then Brady took over. So a superstar to me would be, 800 yards ahead of anybody else. You're going to rush for 1,500, 2,000 yards or something like that. That's a fucking amazing.
If you want to talk superstar, talk Mike Pringle. That was a superstar.
I brought him up.
Yards. Yeah.
Well,
so
and what is the sack leading record in the CFL? Isn't it 22 and a half yards or sacks? Okay, that was right.
But we don't do half
22 and a half
anymore,
yards is the record. 2 years ago, Matthew Betts had 18. That's amazing. That was great. Okay, went to the NFL, came back, shit the bed. Or it just wasn't prepared for the season last year. So you can't call him a superstar yet. Maybe we could in a year from now, depending on what he does. But the CFLPA just put out a statement that said there are 5 defensive linemen that are tied for the sack lead for last year with 8.
8
sacks. That's pathetic. That's not all-star material. That's not superstar material. That's not even elite material. That's just like, oh my God, did you mail in your season?
I once saw David Benefield get 5 sacks in one game.
Exactly.
That's only 3 less.
So, it's just there. I don't disagree with Ed Hervey, and the CFLPA needs to calm the fuck down. Writing letters to the league trying to get him disciplined. It's stupid.
For telling the truth.
Rick, do you have anything to say on this?
No,
You're laughing pretty good.
I would agree with that. Nobody I'd say is what you would call a superstar. I mean, there's enough guys, I think, around the league that you might refer to as stars, but I don't know about superstar.
Sure.
And that's kind of pathetic when you think about it. Because I would say in the last 3 or 4 years, we've lost superstars. We haven't had any superstars.
Well, I mean, we've been saying for the last couple of years that this is some of the most pathetic quarterback classes that we've seen in a long time, where there's only like 1 or 2 that are actually standing out in the league. The rest are like, oh my God, why are they even in the league? I mean, seriously. And is this season going to be any different? Is Chad Kelly going to step up and actually do something in Toronto instead of whining and crying all the time or being a dick? Nathan Rourke has potential to be an all-star. Does he have potential to be a superstar? I don't know. We'll find out. Trey Ford, he doesn't have it. Zach's on the downside. Winnipeg really doesn't have anybody to step up in his place. I mean, Trevor Harris, he was on his downside 4 years ago. Who in the league can step up right now and be a quarterback? Levi Mitchell and Hamilton? Yeah.
When you miss the playoffs, you're not a superstar.
Well, I know one. I know one who could, but go ahead, Rick.
I know what you're going to say. I saw one guy jump up and say, "Oh, Chad Kelly is a superstar."
Yeah, well, that's
not in football.
Yeah.
No, that's
Keith, superstar asshole.
Yeah.
Krushank.
So
thinking, no, I Go ahead, William.
I'm thinking if he steps his game up and he plays his cards right, Cody Fajardo will prove us all wrong this year.
Fuck off. Yeah, he's in Edmonton.
Okay, then.
And he's number 2 in Edmonton. That's sad.
Yeah, but we know he'll get to play
when you're
because
behind
Trevor
Trey
Harris
Ford.
will get hurt. Trevor Harris will get hurt, so.
Well, Cody's in Edmonton, isn't he?
He's not in Saskatchewan. He's in Edmonton.
Yeah, he's in Edmonton.
Yeah, he's in Edmonton.
So Trevor Harris is in Saskatchewan. So whether he gets hurt, that doesn't affect him.
We know Trey Ford is going to get hurt because the way he runs around, if someone hits him, he will get hurt. So
Jake Mayer could step up and be the superstar in Saskatchewan. Is that what you're trying to say?
Sure he could. You guys picked him as a superstar 2 years ago. Remember, I wasn't that guy.
No, you weren't that guy. I said he had potential.
Superstar. I said that I thought he was he could be a decent quarterback. I never called him a superstar.
No, never. Said he had potential.
He had potential. He didn't live up to it. He didn't come close, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So does your local Walmart greeter sometime down the road. He used to have potential. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Okay, so the next thing on the agenda, and you do have, I think you can scroll back in your our chat on Messenger, Rick, and you can see what the agenda actually is for tonight's show. Charles put it out. The next one is missing a space, so I don't have a hyperlink for it. It says Bombers quarterback Zach Collaros has thought about retirement, but won't put a deadline on his CFL career. I honestly thought he was going to retire last year before the 2024 season, and that didn't happen. And it would be very uncool for him to retire now, being this close to the 2025 season. So I think he's in it for another one. Winnipeg overall, in my opinion, is getting a little bit on the geriatric side of things. And yeah, they turned a couple of players off. Adam Big Hill's gone. And I don't know, Willie Jefferson's still there. Stanley Bryant's there. What is he, 104?
No, he's only he was 68 on his last birthday. So
no, 38. No, he's 39, I believe. Big boy. Anyhow, so Zach Collaros on retirement. Rick, he's your quarterback. You tell us what you figure is going on with Zach.
Oh God, only knows. It would not crush me if he was to retire. It's about time. But management hasn't planned for that eventuality.
Yeah.
Not well.
That's what scares me. But
Who's going to be the replacement? Chris Strevler?
oh
St.
God, there's
Patterson.
Strevler. There's a waste of money. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Nothing quite like having a quarterback that might pass for 1,200 yards in a season.
Yeah, but he'll run for 5,000. So
He could run for 5,000. Just what we need, another Damon Allen in the fucking league.
Well, if he makes it through another season, they better have plans. They better find somebody that can step up and take over for him, because we certainly don't have anybody right now.
Well, Shea Patterson did not look poorly in Saskatchewan last year in relief of Trevor Harris.
True.
And, and he was in Saskatchewan, and that's kind of, a bit of a boat anchor around your neck. So is he going to step up with a better team? The question is Winnipeg a better team?
Yet
That's
to
the
be
question.
determined.
do you guys know, after Chris Strevler got injured last year,
Yes.
do you know who the Bombers' number 2 quarterback was?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know.
I
don't
do, but
remember.
I can't remember his name.
Escaping me.
Go ahead. Put it out on the table there, Willie.
Terry Wilson.
Yeah.
Who?
He was Terry Wilson. He was a first year. He was a first year quarterback, 6'3", 210 pounds, 27 years old. They say he is going to be. They say he is going to be Zach Collaros' replacement. So, what can you
So he's
say?
still on the roster.
Yes, he is, sir.
Okay.
Yes, he is, sir.
Well, they better get that boy some playing time.
Well, no, but I'm also thinking maybe the Bombers were also thinking that maybe Collaros will retire, because they also signed Shea, what's his name, from Saskatchewan.
Shea Patterson.
Shea Patterson.
Shea Patterson.
Yep.
I honestly wondered last year that had the Bombers won the Grey Cup, if he would have retired at that point. I don't know
Probably.
for sure, but I wondered if he would have.
Yeah, if you think about it, he's a 2-time winner, 4-time loser of the Grey Cup, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
He's 2-2 in Winnipeg, right?
No, he's 2-3 in Winnipeg.
2 and 3 because they've
Is
lost
he not-
3 in a row now.
Isn't he not 0-2 in Hamilton?
No, he's he was only in 1 in Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know Hamilton went back to back in the Grey Cup back then, but he was only the QB in one of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the QB was. I can't even remember the first QB in Hamilton. Could it have been Jeremiah? No, Jeremiah never made it there.
No, it was after,
Made it where?
before him. I actually think it might have been Trevor Harris.
Yeah, he was never in Hamilton, was he?
I don't
No,
think Trevor
he was
Harris.
I
never.
thought he was
Trevor
in
Harris
Hamilton
played-
before he went to Ottawa.
I don't think he played in Hamilton. He was in
No, he
Toronto
didn't
before
play
he
in
went to
Hamilton.
Ottawa.
No, okay.
The
Could be wrong.
back-to-back. So one of them was Dane Evans was the quarterback for one.
Ooh, I remember him.
Yeah.
He lost to Winnipeg.
Right.
Okay, let's see what we've got here. I'm looking up Mr. Kent Austin. So he was the coach and general manager during that time period. And I'm not getting what I want.
Yes.
There's Wikipedia. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say about him. Okay, so he was He was head coach at Hamilton between 2013 and 2017. It doesn't say when he lost the Grey Cups.
Who, Ken Austin?
Yeah.
I would
Coaching
assume he
career.
lost. I was assuming he lost both of them. Okay.
Yeah, he lost. He
Lost in the
lost
Grey
to
Cup. Okay, so
Saskatchewan, didn't he, in
2013 is
2013?
who we're looking for the quarterback. Hamilton Tiger Cats,
Yeah,
2013 quarterback.
2013. Yes, we are.
– 2013. Go. Who we got? Henry Burris.
Yes, that's right.
No, couldn't have been.
Starting quarterback was Henry Burris
sorry,
in 2013.
He
Right.
lost. That's right. Okay, he lost. Yes. Okay. Cool.
So anyhow,
And then next year, Zach lost to Calgary
yeah.
over that horrendous flipping call by the Hamilton player.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was on what's his
On
nuts? The whiny
Brandon
little guy.
Banks, punt return
Brandon
touchdown
Banks,
call
him,
back
yes.
That's right.
with like a minute
Okay.
left in the game.
Yeah,
Yep.
shit happens. Don't do dumb things.
Right?
Right?
That game. I've seen Zach Collaros win the Grey.
I wonder
lose the
what
Grey Cup
I wonder
twice.
what was that guy's name who ran it back, who cried in the end zone? What was his name again?
You lost. We lost volume on you again.
Was it Brandon Banks?
Yes, Brandon Banks.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah,
I wonder.
Play stupid games, win stupid awards.
Yeah, I wonder which Chick-fil-A he's working in now. Just saying.
Burger King, ain't he?
What was that?
He's at Burger King.
Burger King. Okay.
Okay, moving on the agenda here. We got Riders president Craig Reynolds. Okay, still searching for sustained success after 10 years as president of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's a fucking idiot. I cannot believe that guy hasn't been fired like years ago. How can he still have a job after what he's done to that team?
So he's saying sustained success. Try
What
any
success?
You have to have some to start with before you can sustain it.
Won some games
wait a
here
minute.
and there.
I wasn't
He
finished
won a
with
few
Brendan
games.
Banks yet. This is what
Okay.
Brendan Banks is actually doing now. Brendan Banks, the former CFL receiver, is currently a free agent. He hasn't retired yet. Having left the Toronto Argonauts after winning the Grey Cup in 2022, he's expressed interest in potentially returning to the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but remains undecided about a comeback.
Sounds
So
like a
is
lot
he
of contract
undecided?
offers.
Is
I
he
don't think the ball's
undecided
in his court.
I don't think it is either.
Is he undecided, or is it the Ticats saying, "Please stop
Well,
phoning
no,
us"?
he's undecided because nobody's offered him a contract, so he can't decide on where he wants to play.
How old is he?
I don't know.
He's got to be
He's
in the
probably-
mid to late 30s.
Yeah, he's
isn't he
not
right
that
now?
old.
No, I thought he was.
Brandon Banks is. He is a whopping. Wow, he's got a big Wikipedia page.
Are you
Impressive.
trying to do math, Will?
Yeah.
He was born in '87. I'll let you do it, Whiz King.
It's 38.
38.
go.
I said mid to late 30s.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. He ain't coming back to the CFL.
He has actually
Nope.
agreed to return to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. However, the Tiger Cats did not agree.
I have
So,
no interest in
that's
him at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Not that I would pray. Anyhow, back to Craig Reynolds. Okay.
Yes.
So, what's your thoughts, William?
He should be happy that he's had a football job for 10 years.
Yes.
what has Saskatchewan done in the last 10 years?
Well, wasn't their last Grey Cup victory in 2013? Sorry, 2013?
Yep.
Yeah. So that was their last Grey Cup victory. I think that was their last Grey Cup appearance.
I was going to say, I don't think they've been in the Grey Cup since then.
No, they have not.
So if he's been there for 10 years, came in 2015-ish, they've done diddly squat.
Yeah. How do you have success when you haven't had any real success to start with?
The only thing that he's really successfully done is got Rod Peterson fired.
Really? Okay.
And we're not going to go travel down that road, but it was kind of funny. I still think that was probably the best thing that ever happened to Rod Peterson, but it probably wasn't the way that he wanted to end his career as the announcer for the Riders. But shit happens.
But I've also heard a rumor out there that his show is being close to being canceled, actually.
Which show?
The one he has now.
How can it be canceled? He's running it.
Yeah, isn't it a podcast?
Yeah, it's like saying Let's Talk CFL is about to be canceled. Who's going to cancel it except me?
Well, yeah, but he actually makes a living from this.
Yeah.
And so he's probably got sponsors, man.
He's got multiple revenue streams. He's doing a good job. He's doing with the Blazers.
I heard it from a real reliable source. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. So be it. Whatever happens. I mean, I like Rod. He's on the ball. He's got some good information, and
I've never listened to his show.
I've never listened to a show either. I don't do that.
I've listened a few times.
I read his articles, and usually he's spot on a few of them. He's still got his head up his ass with the Riders, and I just got to laugh at him and bring him down to reality every once in a while. Just say, hey, look, man, I'm calling you on your stupid shit because it's dumb. And he laughs, comes back, and he says, yeah, but I got to do this every once in a while. And I went, yeah, okay. But we'll see what happens. But back to Craig Reynolds. I mean, this is who we want to talk about. This is the Pond Scum in Saskatchewan. And Rick, what's your thoughts?
You
followed him?
10 years. Well, I know the team, and we've changed coaches, we've changed players, and still no success. So seems to be only one more thing to change here to try and get something different out of them.
Yeah, well, what does the president do anyways? So,
well, isn't he the one that authorized the contract extension for Craig Dickinson?
Yeah, well, but he fired him. So
how did that work out?
Well, eventually he's still paying him.
Well, yeah, that's probably why he's in Calgary, because his brother doesn't have to pay him very much.
Exactly. I don't know. Does he actually have a real position in Calgary now? Is he the special teams coordinator this year?
He is so, because Mark Killam's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fired Mark Killam and brought in Craig Dickinson. Fucking.
Well, they didn't fire him. They let him go. He didn't have a contract. He didn't have a contract after this year, so.
So they didn't renew him.
No, they punted him out the door. Okay. There had to have been some serious conflict in the coaching room because nobody could put up with Dave Dickinson, the egomaniac.
Except his brother.
Oh, sorry, Will. Charles, you got any input here on Mr. Reynolds? Or do we step up and move on?
Well, I mean, we've pretty much gone through it already, but I mean, come on, the guy is not getting it done. I mean, how long has he been there? 10 years? No great in a 9-team league. He got to the Western Final and then relied on Cody Fajardo, who ended up hitting the post with a pass. Now he's trying to rely on an injury-prone old Trevor Harris to bring him to the promised land. Yeah. This does not sound like a formula for success. He did do a good job in hiring the coach show, but I mean, that only takes you so far.
let's take a look at his resume, okay?
Oh, why?
He's a University of Saskatchewan alumni. Doesn't say he played football, but I'm assuming he
I thought
did.
he did. I thought he did.
He's got a Bachelor of Commerce and a Master's of Professional Accounting. Before joining the Rough Riders, he worked for Suncor Energy in Calgary and Fort McMurray, and previously held positions with KBMG and Thornton Scientific. He joined the Rough Riders he joined the Rough Riders in 2009 as the CFO. Was promoted to Senior Vice President and CFO in 2012. Was named President of the NCO in 2014, taking over from Jim Hobson. He has been actively involved with the development of Mosaic Stadium in the 2000. So yeah, he's a mean counter.
But how
Got
did
a
he get a
similar
job
resume
running
to Randy Ambrosi. Another useless piece of shit in this league.
How did he get a job running a football team with that kind of resume?
Well, he did.
How did Randy Ambrosi get a job run as a commissioner of a football league?
Well, at the
played
very
the
least, at least he
CFL.
played in
Come
the
on.
league.
That does not qualify you to run a league.
Well, apparently it does in the CFL
Hey, honey, come here.
because there have been other commissioners who have
You
been
dressed?
on the
Oh,
job
say hello to Ricky.
whose main
We're gonna talk about Randy. Oh,
yeah.
hi Patty.
Hello, Patty.
She just kind of
How's
jumped into
everybody?
the screen there.
You're funny.
She's gone just like that.
Thanks for the
Before
water.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay. Well, we're gonna ditch this topic and move on because
Yeah, it's boring.
there's no point. It's boring. Calgary Stampeders hire longtime CFL player Dakota Prukop as their quarterback.
How do
coach.
they get him as a longtime CFL player?
He stood
At least
on
they
a
didn't
lot of
call him a
sidelines.
superstar.
I mean,
7 seasons.
yeah, but he's always been a backup.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean,
How many
he's
starts did he have?
None.
Nah,
I'm sure.
he's got to have
I'm
some.
sure. I don't. How do you spell his last name?
Prukop.
P-R-O-K-U-P.
Yeah.
Did you say C?
P-R-O-K-U-P.
K-O-U. K-O-P.
K-U-P. Prokop.
Cop.
He has
C-O-P like
11
a cop.
he has 11 more attempted passes than he has games played, and he completed 20 fewer passes than games played in.
Yep, this
Yeah,
sounds like
but
a
just
Dave
because it's
Dickinson
games
hire.
played in doesn't mean he actually saw the field.
He
True.
could have been holding for field goals.
He's a
Could be short
Montana
yardage.
State guy.
There's
Yeah.
the connection.
Do you know
Six,
why they
six,
hired him?
six touchdowns.
Do you know why they hired him as the quarterback's coach?
Couldn't get
He's from
anyone else.
Montana.
No,
So
because
is Dave.
because I can't remember his last name. He was Bo Levi Mitchell's coach in college, was Calgary's quarterback coach, and he got sick, so he could not participate this year. So he had to go back to Montana. And this guy was a quick
With the
replacement.
$750 they had left in the budget, they hired him.
No, I think he's got to work part-time at McDonald's, actually.
Hey, this guy's from Montana. Let's take him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
He was
I
in
was
Calgary. He
I
was
was
in
sad
Calgary
when
5 or
Winnipeg
6.
got rid of him.
Yeah, he was in Calgary 5 or 6 years ago, but he got cut before the season started.
So my question is, this is now your quarterback coach, and you think
Yeah.
what is Vernon Adams Jr., Devage, going to learn from this guy? Seriously.
I don't know what players learn from the quarterback coach anyways.
It boggles the mind. Okay.
I mean, there was a certain quarterback coach in Calgary that went on to Toronto, and he's won 2 Grey Cups already. And that's all he ever was in Calgary, was a quarterback coach.
Correct.
Fair enough.
So,
Well, and he was a player.
sorta.
Okay. Cruising on. So this is how you get a stadium in Halifax. Okay, this is it. You want a stadium in Halifax or Quebec City, this is how you do it. BMO Field is the home of the Toronto Argonauts, is receiving $150 million renovation for the FIFA World Cup in 2026.
Yep.
BC Lions got an upgrade to BC Place. Why? Because of the Olympics.
Yep.
Hamilton got a new stadium. Why? Because of the Pan Am Games or Commonwealth Games or whatever they were called back then. That's the only way that you get upgrades to your stadium, is you have to get federal money for some international event. Because nobody else is going to step up and write a check. It's simple. So unless the Calgary Stampeders are going to start hosting, or the city of Calgary is going to host the Summer Olympics, which won't happen, you're not going to get a new stadium. It's not going to happen.
No. But they announced today, because they have the Grey Cup next season, right?
Yes.
They announced today that the city has given them an extra $1,500 for those red Dixie cups, okay?
$1,500 bucks.
$1,500 with a Stampede logo on them. So,
wow. Maybe they can buy some rat traps.
Can they buy some plungers for the toilets that are always like not working?
I don't know about you, Charles, but I don't use public washrooms, so I've never had that problem.
Well,
yeah, no, I agree. I've never done that.
I try not to, but sometimes you got to go when you're out.
Okay, so
but they also have announced. They also have announced today that the Grey Cup parade marshal is going to be Marcus Crandall.
And why
Calgary.
wouldn't it?
Do you believe me?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
So just thought I should point out here that the Bomber Stadium wasn't built for any sort of international event.
No, but that was the province stepped up with a lot of money. Okay, and a province has to have a lot of money to do that. Nova Scotia does not.
No.
And I'm pretty sure all the province's money here is being spent on, you know what, in Calgary, this fucking hockey stadium that's coming. So
yeah,
there you go. Maybe you guys got to start sending some nice letters to Danielle Smith and see if she'll step up with some money.
Yeah, okay. I'll get right on that.
Get right on that. Okay.
Maybe she can sell the naming rights to it to Trump.
Maybe.
As a way to raise some money.
Maybe.
Stadium in Calgary. I don't think that's going to fly. Okay, I just don't think that's going to fly. Why don't we get Donald Trump to get a CFL team in St. Louis? That would make more sense to me.
Donald's not going to bring anything from Canada until he owns it. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Don't bet on it. Okay. So going down this thing, we got to get into some some hot topics coming up pretty quick, but we're not there yet.
Wait, we could name the new Calgary Stadium PP Stadium.
PP Stadium. Why?
PP.
But he's not from Calgary, or he was at one point.
He was at one point.
Yeah, but now he's always been in what, Carleton, Ontario.
I don't know. I know he went to the University of Calgary.
One of the ridings in Ottawa, because it was kind of funny because there's 2 Ottawa ridings and one of them is Pierre's in one and Kearney's in the other. And I'm going, well, why couldn't they be in the same riding? Wouldn't that at least be entertaining? One of them doesn't make it. Anyhow, it's not happening, and we're not going to talk politics. We've tried that twice already tonight. It just not going there. So BC Lions promote longtime scout Rob Ralph to assistant general manager. We were scraping the bottom of the barrel for news stories here. Okay.
Obviously.
This is what you're getting. This is what you're getting in March.
Yeah, in March. Okay. We could be doing a lot of stuff on the combine, but I'd rather talk about assistant general managers in the BC Lions because it's more exciting. Okay.
And that's saying nothing, by the way.
No, not at all. No. It's not setting the bar very high. Definitely not. Okay. What did we talk about? Oh, this whole thing with the Trump tariffs and everything else. Now everybody's on this campaign about buy Canadian products and shop Canadian and do this, do that. So now there's so many people want to change the CFL all back to Canadian players. I mean, seriously?
Let's just not go there.
Are you trying to destroy our league? I mean, yeah, maybe in the 50s we could have got away with that shit, but you can't now. Don't do it. Don't.
It would be like a Canadian college game. You'd probably get 1,500 people there.
That might be generous for some Canadian college games I've seen.
Yep.
Yes. Sad but true. Okay, so
Sad but true.
Longtime scout Rob Ralph is now the assistant general manager in BC. Way to go. I don't even know who the general manager is. It's Ringwald, isn't it?
Ryan Ringmalden, or I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Something like that. Anyhow. So, okay, moving on, because there's nothing to say about that.
Not really,
the CFL wants a real difference maker as the commissioner. Compensation needs to be raised with the league's business. Excuse me, Randy Ambrosi is making $1 million a year. He's making $750,000 plus bonuses. He's making $1 million a year to be what? What's he done? He's been the commissioner for 9 years. What accomplishment has he done? What can we put on his thing saying, okay, this is what he did? Anybody, step up.
Well, he appreciates Calgary for what it is because he's had the Grey Cup here twice.
That's why your mic died, because nobody was talking about Calgary.
Okay.
He announced the name for the Halifax team as the Atlantic Schooners. There's no team there, but we now know what to call the team that's not there.
We've known that for 40 years.
Yeah, they actually announced that name in 1984.
He's pushed the rock for the Halifax team at least 20% further than it ever has gone.
Oh.
He's never been arrested for sexual assault.
There you go.
Okay. So he's one up on Eric Tillman.
Low bar.
Very.
I think you should throw a resume in, Christopher.
I thought about it, but I wouldn't last very long.
Freshen up your LinkedIn and go for it.
Yeah.
The CFO
biggest drawback for me even contemplating doing this is I would have to move to Toronto. And there's not a fucking hope in hell that that's going to happen. I hate that town. I've been there too many times and it's disgusting. It's a terrible town. I know I'm going to get shit from Argo fans now, but it's not a nice city.
You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering what CFL players think that the commissioner makes $800,000 or $1 million a season, and they're all making. Nobody in the
65?
CFL makes $1 million a season, right? So I don't feel sorry for him.
But he hasn't accomplished anything. How did CFL 2.0 go? You remember that? Awesome.
Sure.
Okay.
Not great.
And he announced that we would have CFL games in Mexico.
Never
That
happened.
happened. Okay. He said that we would have a team in Halifax. Well, he's told us that about 8 times, and that hasn't happened.
To be
Then he
fair, he's
fucked
not
up the
the
whole
only
thing with
commissioner
Chad
that
Kelly.
said that. Yes.
Okay. And he's fucked up the thing with Sean Lemon. Why is Sean Lemon not in the CFL?
He's old.
Well, yes, but Montreal still wants him. Shit, Winnipeg has got Stanley Bryant. He's older. And Zach Claros is older. Okay. Who would be a good commissioner? Who would you say right now, out of anybody in the CFL that you have dealt with, seen, played with, whatever, watched, who do you think would make a good commissioner?
Hey, Willie,
Rick,
how about Stan Mikowas?
Who?
How about Stan Mikowas?
Don't make me laugh. How about Tony Principi?
How about we be serious?
We are being serious.
Who would you pick for commissioner right now, Rick? Rick.
You know, I'm going to have to plead ignorance on exactly what makes a good commissioner.
Well, what makes a good commissioner or what makes a CFL commissioner? Because they're two totally different things. Because we had a really good commissioner of the CFL and he got fired because he didn't follow instructions from the owners very well.
But
Okay.
that's the problem of being a commissioner. You got too many bosses.
Like Gary Bettman doesn't or didn't. He did what the hell he wanted, which was the betterment of the league, except for maybe Arizona. Okay. And who's the guy in the NFL? What's his name?
Steven Goodall.
Yeah, Goodall.
Roger Goodall.
Roger
Goodall, yeah.
The league's prosperous. It's moving along. Everything is good. There's nothing bad happening down there. He's doing a good job. Nothing is happening in the CFL. We have not had a new team in the CFL since 1954.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
He's not counting the American teams, Will.
No, I know he's not.
Sorry, I forgot about the American teams.
No, not American teams. Ottawa.
Ottawa was in the CFL before 1954.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same team.
Doesn't matter. Still,
well, yes, it does.
city.
It's a different name.
Okay, new city then.
Come on. Okay.
We've had 9 teams in the CFL since 1954. We had a 3-year experiment in the U.S. where we had a bunch of teams and they all went away.
Well, the problem with Canada is it hasn't gotten any bigger.
Well, Canada's got 41 million people now, and it's up like 6 million people in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, but have we?
But they're all Islamic.
Have we had any new cities since 1954?
Nope.
No. Well, new cities in what? In Canada?
Yes.
Where would you put a new city?
Well, exactly. My point.
We've got lots of new cities. Surrey, British Columbia is a new city.
Not a city.
Because it was a municipality before. Now it's a city.
Now,
right.
Yeah.
In fact, Surrey's population is going to exceed Vancouver's shortly.
Probably already does if you're talking Vancouver proper.
Vancouver proper and Surrey proper. Surrey's lagging back by like 100,000 people. It's close. But there's more.
You should see Surrey now. There's skyscrapers going up left and right in Surrey.
There's more people south of the Fraser River than there is north.
Yep.
I mean, you could put another CFL team in the Fraser Valley with the population that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't work because the majority of Lion fans are in the Fraser Valley. They're not in the city.
Hey, I've got a good vote for commissioner.
For what?
For commissioner,
What do you want to do?
hire Craig Reynolds. He's getting stagnant in Saskatchewan. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Charles,
I've
who do you think would
I've
make a good
actually
commissioner?
I've actually got a legit guy who I think might make a decent commissioner, and that
Okay.
is former Hamilton Tiger Cats slot back Mike Moriali.
Why?
And the reason I say that is since 2015, he has actually been a professional sports commissioner for the Canadian Elite Basketball League, which is a pro league that launched in Canada back in 2015. From the time they've started, they've grown from 6 teams to 10 teams. They, I don't believe, have had anybody fold, and they're actually drawing in some good crowds relatively for the sports. So that's actually a league that he started from the ground up. He's been there 9 years now. It's he took it as a startup league and he's grown it. Not only that, he has experience, obviously, playing in the CFL for a number. I believe he played in the CFL 7 or 8 years. So he's got the CFL experience and he's got the experience as a commissioner in a sports league. Now, granted, it's a different apples and oranges, but he's at least got that type of experience of being a head of a sports league, dealing with team owners, dealing with some of the same types of issues that the CFL would be
What's
dealing with.
it? What
Maybe not
is it
on
called?
the same scale. It's the Canadian Elite Basketball League, the CEBL. They have 10 teams. Like I said, it launched in 2019.
What's his
But
name?
Mike Moriali. I'll get you the correct spelling. Morreale, Mike Moriali. But he has that type of experience. So he's a guy that came to mind as a guy that has experience as a commissioner of league and also has the experience of being in the CFL.
Interesting. I kind of like that idea. It's probably one of the better ones that I've heard.
I'll take him over Glenn Suter.
That was a joke, right? I'd rather take Marcus Grandel. Uh, the only person that I can think of that has bettered his position, is aware of the situation, would be Wade Miller. And I don't believe it would work because he would basically tell the Board of Governors to fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
And he would try to grow the league the way that he would want to, and he would get fired. Same as
That's what
Jeffrey
got
Orridge
Jeffrey
did.
Orridge in trouble.
Yeah. So do you think Mike Morale would be any different?
I'm not really sure.
I mean, obviously he's doing a good job with what he's doing.
Yep.
But is that what the Board of Governors want to do? I just don't see them stepping up to want to make this league prosperous. They just haven't done it.
That's the key problem. I think the Board of Governors want a yes man, and that's generally what Ambrosie has been to them. And any of the guys that have stuck around for a while, besides Ambrosie, one of the longest serving ones was what's his name? Was it Michael? Not Michael Lisco, the other guy.
Larry Smith, wasn't it?
Well, Larry Smith was incompetent as all hell. But Michael Lisco, and who's the other guy that everyone liked? That always said, "Oh, he's a great commissioner," and he wasn't a great commissioner.
Oh,
The guy,
Mark Cohen.
what's his name? Mark Cohen.
Mark Cohen.
He was another yes man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why does all the fans think Mark Cohen was a great commissioner? Because he wore jeans. They were $400 pairs of jeans, but he wore jeans around. And he went and drank beer with people. He bought them beer in the stadium. That doesn't make you a commissioner. That makes you a mascot. I mean, no different than what Pinball Clemens would be. He's not a commissioner. He's a mascot for the Toronto Argonauts right now. And he's just I don't know. No, I do not think Pinball Clemens would make a good commissioner.
I don't think
William.
it should be a guy, just to prevent, it should be a guy that has worked for a particular team, because I think the optics of that is bad, especially if a situation comes up with the team he used to work for, and then they get some sort of favorable ruling. Right away, you're going to have people saying, "Oh, well, that's his team." So that I don't like, it gives bad optics, I think.
I don't disagree with you, and I don't believe that it has to be a former player.
No.
Personally, we don't think that players are all that bright. So why would we want one in charge of our league? I don't know. William, do you have an answer? Who do you want as a commissioner?
Well, I'm just thinking about Charles' choice, and I've been looking into the CEBL, and it would be a step up for him because the average player in the CBEL makes $400 to $1,500 per game, and it's only a 20-game season.
Right. I mean, they're not. It's a smaller scale for sure.
Each franchise is worth $1.5 million. So,
Total,
but hey,
or each?
Each.
Okay.
Each.
He's a good guy. I've met him.
Have you?
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, well, we had one of the first teams here in Abbotsford,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
and I was trying to score the job. I was trying to score the job as the team photographer, so I met him a few times, trying to get my foot in the door. Seems like a
So
sharp guy.
Abbotsford
And
has a professional basketball team?
They had
relocated. They play in Langley now.
yeah, and they're now the Vancouver.
Yeah, they were originally called the Fraser Valley Bandits, and then they moved to the Langley Event Center and called themselves the Vancouver Bandits.
I went to all their games the first couple years. They didn't hire me, but they gave me a floor pass to shoot the games for fun anyway. So it's pretty good basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Abbotsford's a bit of a basketball crazy town. So
yeah.
Very interesting.
But yeah, he didn't he used to work with I'm going to say lacrosse team in Calgary. Don't you have a big time lacrosse team in Calgary?
Yes, but I don't think he was ever here.
I thought he had something to do. Yeah. Anyway,
he also
they do list him as a co-founder of the league, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was also the president of the CFLPA in 2012.
Yes, I just saw that.
In 2014.
For 2 years, 3 years.
He was also the CFLPA director of marketing as well. So he
not
only played in the league, he had some business acumen to him as well.
Yep. Yeah.
And he worked as a color analyst for U Sports.
Yeah.
He was a receiver, so he's not going to be fat like Randy Ambrosi. So.
Or ugly.
Or ugly.
He's an ugly man, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah,
well, now it's time for my wife to make a cameo here too. There, she just walked through the screen. Now she's gone.
Yeah, my wife's in a different building, so I'm good.
Okay, well, we've had 3 or 4 wives appear on screen tonight.
You're not going to
get in the doghouse again, are you?
Well, I am, because I'm out in the studio apartment for this is where my office is for now. Till I get my new loft apartment up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have to have the screen behind me like this, because where I'm going to have my desk, Natalie's going to be in bed right behind us. So we'll definitely have to make sure that that's up there.
You bought her earplugs, did you?
Bought her a box of earplugs the other day. Yeah, I did. $40 for 200 packages. $43. I thought that was kind of expensive, but I guess 25 cents a package isn't all that much. And she uses them over and over and over again. So that'll probably last her 10 years. I don't know if I'll be doing this 10 years. Who knows? She doesn't really have it because I piss her off with the podcast. She has her earplugs because I snore.
I thought you just piss her off in general. So.
Well, no, I don't know. That's my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Charles, I like your answer here. This is a this is actually a good thing. You should write an essay on it and post it online. And because I would do it, but then I would just be stealing your thunder. So maybe you should do that.
All right, well, I might do that then.
Right, put it up there. This is my suggestion for a CFL commissioner, and this is why, and this is what he does, and this is where's his success, and this is his resume, and he would make the best commissioner because right now, honestly, we don't have one. And I know the league has a long list of people, and they're supposed to be naming a commissioner before training camp.
You would hope so.
No, they said they were.
Okay, well, let's see.
Maybe they could include that in a box on the federal election at the bottom.
Yeah, vote for the commissioner.
Right?
Have the public have their say.
Pierre Jr.
Voter turnout would be bad.
Yeah.
I think it should be.
We could vote for Donald Trump as commissioner of the CFL.
I think it should be Mike Clemens. Okay.
Fuck off. Really?
No.
No, you're just being an asshole again. Okay.
Well, no.
Just being Will.
Don't laugh at that, though, because I think that's possible. I'm not saying it will, but I think it's possible.
He is a motivational speaker. Maybe that's what they need. They need a rah-rah guy.
You mean a mascot?
Okay. Have you seen
he's not
how
a commissioner? He's not even a general manager of the Toronto Argonauts right now. That's John Murphy.
Have you seen how small he is? We could, at Grey Cup, we could do toss the commissioner, okay? Just like they used to toss the midgets. Just saying.
Let's have a commissioner toss. They used to do dwarf tossing in North Vancouver.
That's right.
At the coach house.
And he's close to a dwarf. He's not a very big guy.
How do we go from CFL commissioner to dwarf tossing?
Well, because I ran into him at the Grey Cup this year, Charles, on a rainy street. Yeah. And he's not a very big guy.
No. I got a picture of me and Randy and Rosie. He's pretty big.
I met him in Hamilton the one time and got a picture with him. He's a little guy.
Yeah, he is. So, just saying.
Okay, let's move on to something more exciting here. Not that we have anything more exciting.
No, we don't.
Calgary Stampeders unveil branding for inaugural Stampede Bowl.
I didn't understand what this was, so I thought maybe Will might know more about it because I was curious.
I think the Calgary Stampeders, the Stampede, is now sponsoring the Stampeders Grey Cup.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's not it. No, that's not it.
Okay, what is it then?
Are you out to lunch or what? So I've lived in Calgary. How long you lived in Abbotsford, or how long you lived in BC, Rick?
34 years.
Okay, so I've lived in Calgary for 34 years. In the 34 years I've been here, during Stampede, we do not have CFL football here. They always go out of town. This is the first time they've ever had a CFL football game during Stampede in Calgary. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
That's what is about. Unveil branding.
Okay, so they're gonna they've got a home game in Calgary during the Stampede, so they're calling it the Stampede Bowl.
There you go.
Essentially, then. Okay.
Yes, sir.
They've never had one during the Stampede before?
No, sir.
Huh.
That's a big no-no. They're always on the road.
I'm surprised at that.
Well, no, it's because yeah, but it's Stampede is so big.
I guess
they don't.
Okay.
I bet you there will be 12 people in the stands. To be honest with you.
I bet you not. There'll be visitors there that have never been to a Stampede game, and they'll take a break from the Stampede to go watch a football game.
Absolutely, because they want to come to the Stampeders game to see that fantastic stadium that we have.
I'm with Rick on this one. I think that it probably would sell out.
Maybe I'll go to the Stampede this year. Maybe I'll go to the Stampede this year and go to that game. That'd be cool. I probably won't.
Charles, don't waste your money on the Stampede. It's a waste of time and money. Sorry.
I've heard that too. No, actually, you're not the first person I've heard say that.
Go see Christopher. He's got horses.
I do. Too many of them.
There you
Well,
go.
the Stampeders have a horse.
Yeah, they do.
And they got a
Quick
fat
Six.
chick that rides it.
No, she's real skinny now, TJ.
Well, they had that fat ass up there, and there's a rule around horse women is that you can't have a bigger ass than the horse.
Well,
Okay, it's
how
a
long
rule.
ago? How long ago were you here for that game?
It's really
Oh,
good that this
that-
can't be canceled.
That
Go on.
has to be 7 years ago now.
Okay, well, she retired and her daughter took over.
Okay, is the daughter skinnier?
Oh, yes, she's much skinnier. And
I
so
don't
is the
know.
horse. And so is the horse she rides.
Yeah. No, you see, that's kind of a rule. You can't have a bigger ass than your horse.
Yeah, okay, I've never had a horse, so that's never been a problem for me.
Actually, as a rider, you're supposed to be in better shape than your horse.
Huh.
It's amazing
How
how many
can you-
fat
Apparently
chicks go
so.
right.
How can you tell there's not much going on in the CFL right now? We've gone way off the rails, but whatever.
Totally
Yeah.
off the rails. And so okay, coming back to the discussion topic here, and Will definitely does not agree, but I think Calgary Stampeders game during the Stampede is going to be a good thing. I mean, the Canucks do it, and the Lions do it during P&E.
I was gonna say the Lions used to always, especially when they were at Empire Stadium, they would always have at least one game during the P&E, and they used that as a drawing card. Because
Yeah.
typically, then if you had a Lions ticket, you got into the P&E for free. I don't know if they're offering the same kind of deal for the Stampede, but that's what the Lions would do.
Well, and in reality, the game is on the very first day of the Stampede, so it's not going to conflict with any of the stuff that goes on during the week. So, and yeah, maybe it's on a Thursday night. So I don't know. Probably.
There's room for cross promotion here.
Yeah,
And that is one of the things that we need to start doing more in the league. Is
And
that,
I don't know why they
I remember
haven't
the
done it
Argos were
before
doing that
now.
where they you bought season tickets to the Raptors and you got tickets to the Argos games.
Yep.
Right? Cross promotion works between leagues. Makes sports fans are sports fans. They will go watch other games. Except me. I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like lingerie football. Well, that's still kind of football. Because I remember the BC Angels in Abbotsford there. I used to go to all their games. I got some really good pictures. You'd be impressed with my photography for that, Rick.
Well, I volunteered to be their equipment manager, but they said no.
That's because you didn't identify as a girl. You have to identify as a female for that, okay?
You know what, Rick? I think you should take a trip to Merritt, BC, and take photos of Christopher and his wacky cars that he races all the time.
He can do his race cars.
That could be fun. You know,
Yeah.
I was actually sitting across from the Abbotsford Arena at Finnegan's one day at lunch when they announced the Lingerie Football League, and I was actually interviewed on TV from Global or somebody that was out covering it as to what I thought about the whole idea.
And were you positive or negative?
I said as many different events that we can book into that tax sucking building as we can is a good idea.
Yeah, that's not what you're supposed to say on TV. There's nothing.
I think
there
they might
anything in
have
that
edited
stadium
the
anymore?
tax sucking part.
Well, I said it a little more eloquently. I said I was in favor of any kind of event in the stadium or in the arena that we could go and have some fun watching.
Okay. Yeah. I know the Abbotsford Heat are gone. Did the Canucks not get a farm team in there, or
Yeah, they play
Yep.
there now.
Yep.
They play there now.
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Abbotsford-
they lead the league in attendance.
There you go.
Very popular.
Mhm.
Okay. So then
You go there and
the
take-
tax
you go
sucking
there and take
stadium's not
pictures
doing
or
so
not?
bad then, Rick.
What was that?
You go there
I
and
said the
take pictures
tax
or not?
sucking stadium's not doing so bad.
Well,
It's doing better. I just wish the Canucks owner would buy it from us and then he can have it.
Well, he's running it right now, but the city still
Yeah.
owns it.
Yeah. Yeah, and instead of the deal we had with the Heat was we guaranteed them break even. So every
That
year
was
we owed them $1
embarrassing.
million.
It was
Deal
stupid.
with the
That was
deals with the
so
yeah
stupid.
the deals with the Canucks is we share a portion of the profits they make every year.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Much
it was
better
dumb
business
putting the
deal.
Calgary Flames farm team in BC.
It was
I mean,
ridiculous.
that was just like ridiculous.
That was
People in
pretty
BC
much
don't
the
want to watch
stupidest
Calgary
thing.
Flames prospects. They don't care.
No.
That was
The only
stupidest thing
time that
I've
the Heat
heard.
ever sold out is when the Canucks farm team came and played. And weren't they the Moose
Exactly.
then?
Manitoba Moose, yep.
Manitoba
Yeah.
Moose was them.
When the Moose came to town, it sold out.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it was a dumb idea because in my years living out here, I've discovered there are not many hockey fans in the Lower Mainland. There are Canuck fans, and once the Canucks are done, hockey's over. Like
Yes.
Prairies, people will follow hockey till the very last game. Don't care who's still playing in the cup. But here
That's
in
true.
BC, once Vancouver's done, hockey season's over. We're moving on.
For the most part, depending on who you're a fan of.
Yep.
I'm not a Canucks fan. I'm a Boston Bruins
Yeah.
fan. So as long as the Bruins are watching, I'm paying attention.
Exactly.
But once the Bruins are out, why would I?
Of course, most Vancouver fans are hoping for that all-inclusive riot at the end of the season because it's the best part.
Vancouver will never live that down, no matter how long.
No,
And
they will
shouldn't.
not.
No. And it was more people from Seattle, I think, that got arrested.
After
watched
every
I
Vancouver
watched
loss,
a really,
you're not going
I
to
watched
riot,
a
are you?
really interesting documentary on that once upon a time.
Okay.
It was quite
So
interesting.
Let's move on to the next thing here, because this is actually something we can have a chat about, which is the BC Lions pay Alexander Hollins $75,000 bonus after the CFL PA wins a injury grievance. Now, we all know that during January, a lot of players get released prior to a bonus having to be paid. And a lot of people really don't like this because they don't understand what the contract's about. And the contract is that this bonus isn't for something that they did last year. This is something what they're going to do in this coming year. So it's kind of like a mid-contract signing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you get a signing bonus when you sign your contract so that you have some money before the season starts. Okay. So if you're staying with the team in January, they give you another bonus so that you get some money so that you have some cash before the season starts. So he was released prior to the bonus. So because they didn't want him for the season, he wasn't part of their plan. So they moved on from Alexander Hollins. So they released him prior to paying him the bonus. That is the norm in the CFL because contracts aren't guaranteed. You can do this. And most of they get released before they get a bonus. Why would you pay a bonus if you're not going to keep them for the rest of the year? Because that bonus would now, because it's in January, goes against your salary cap. So you don't want that against your salary cap if you're not going to use this person in your roster. That's what these bonuses are about. Now, why did Alexander Hollins win this grievance? Well, it's because last season he was injured. In the offseason, he had surgery on his knee, and he claimed that he was not healed adequately when the Lions released him, and it is against the contracts to release a player who is injured.
Mm-hmm.
So by releasing him early or before his contract, before his signing bonus was done, it violated the contract, his injury contract. So in theory, still has a contract with the BC Lions for 2025 because this reversed the decision to release him. They had to pay him the $75,000. That goes against their cap for 2025. And he still has a contract. So now come to season, they can release him if he is past his injury. If he gets clearance to play for the team, then they can release him if they want to move forward. But I also understand that the Lions have said that they have shown interest to Alexander Hollins coming back to the fold for the Lions for this year.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean,
that's basically what happened here. And good, bad, or ugly, the Lions shouldn't have released him if he was still considered injured. Whether they considered him injured or not is the argument. And moved on. So is he going to come back as a BC Lion, or is he pissed off at them? I don't know.
He wants to go
I mean,
play with the Vag.
He could come to Calgary. That would make sense. But at this point in time, I don't believe he's a free agent.
well, here's the thing. They released him while he was still injured. So does them releasing them now not take effect and he's still considered under contract?
Well,
Because does this
his
ruling
Wikipedia
overrule
says
them
that he's a
releasing-
free agent.
Okay. Which is kind of a weird situation then. Because I would think that if he was injured and he wants to get paid that bonus, he's got to go back to being considered under contract, I would think.
You would believe so.
Because it doesn't seem fair that if they have to pay him this bonus that was due, then he should probably have to come back and have his contract reinstated if that's the case.
I would suggest
think,
that.
anyways.
I would suggest that's not what he wanted. He just wanted his bonus and used that particular precedent that you can't release me when I'm injured, and you've released me, so you need to pay me that bonus because I'm entitled to it. And he's just gonna move on.
Maybe.
Maybe he doesn't want to play anymore. He wants his 75 grand. He's gonna move on to something else.
Well, that could be the end of his career. I mean, no team has stepped up and taken him on after his knee injury. He's not going to training camp with any team, and the BC Lions have showed interest in him coming back.
Is he even cleared to play? I don't know.
Well, that's a good question.
Yep. Maybe he can't ever play.
Maybe he's just pulling a Darian Durant. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not the same thing.
That's a
Darian
different
Durant
situation altogether.
No, I
That
know
was
it's
just
not the
fraud.
same thing, but it's the same amount of money, more or less. So, just
yeah, but that
saying.
was fraud. I don't think you can't blame Alexander Hollins for what he did and why.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
No, of course not.
So
I'm just trying to figure out why all of these teams, all of these players and their agents sign these contracts with bonuses when they know they're probably not going to get them.
Well, because more than half of the players get those bonuses. We just don't hear or see about it, right?
No, we hear
only
about the guys who
the
don't
ones
get
that
them.
get released prior to the bonus.
Right.
So if you sign a multi-year contract and you're with the team multi-years, you receive that bonus. That is a mid-contract signing bonus. That's the only way that you can describe this. Okay?
Yeah,
It's
but
just-
then when the average contract is probably what, 2 years in the CFL now?
Some of them are going 3 because the third year's got some guaranteed money in it.
Yeah, but majority are 2 years, I'm assuming, and 1 year for that matter. Like I said, if you sign a 1-year contract, why would you sign onto a bonus when you know you're probably not going to get it? Because the team's going to cut you before next year, because they could give you that bonus, and then at free agency, you could go along and sign with another team.
You could, but you're gonna get a signing bonus with the next team, right? So if the BC Lions wanted to re-sign, if all contracts were 1 year at a time,
Yep.
okay, 1 year duration, and he signs a new contract, he gets a new signing bonus. So why wouldn't you just sign him for a 2-year contract and give him a mid-contract bonus? You know, some players stay with the team for 8-10 years.
Yeah, but in
Multiple
recent
contracts.
years, but it is usually multiple contracts.
Right. And he gets a signing bonus. Everybody gets a signing bonus. It's all part of the deal. It's not unheard of. It is so that the guy has some money between January and May, because he doesn't get any money until he goes to training camp.
Right.
So you're poor.
Well, you're in the CFL, you're poor anyways.
You're poor no matter what. And there's no way they saved money from last season. So they need that bonus in January to carry on. Now, if you're going to release him in January, he doesn't get his bonus. Then he's in free agency and he gets to sign with Calgary. And Calgary's going to give him a signing bonus, probably equivalent to what the Lions were going to.
Right.
If he's healthy enough to play. And why wouldn't the Calgary Stampeders, with Vernon Adams there, take on one of his better receivers? I mean, he got Dominic Rhymes back in Calgary, did he not?
Yes.
He did, yeah.
So he's got Dominic Rhymes. Why wouldn't you want Alexander Hollins? We lost Rick.
Uh-oh.
Pitcher went away. He muted his mic.
Went to the bathroom.
Rick's got to go pee. Okay. What's your thoughts on this, Charles? Do you agree, disagree? Do you see something different? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I just think it's I don't know. It's a confusing situation because I honestly think that if they're doing this, he should be back under contract at that point. His contract's got to be reinstated because that bonus was part of the contract. So that's fine. You don't want to be released because you're injured and you want your bonus, fine. But then the contract's reinstated, as far as I'm concerned.
I believe that is correct. That should happen. Now, whether that did happen,
I don't know if it did, but it should, because I don't think it doesn't make sense at that point. They're saying, okay, he's injured, you can't release him. So then I'm guessing he's still got to be paid his salary. Then he's got to be paid his bonus then too. But if he wants the bonus, then he's got to go back under contract. Because otherwise, you can't really have it both ways as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't make sense. It's not right.
I think it just depends on what he wants and what the Lions want. The Lions wanted him back. Mm-hmm. They should have just demanded it. I'll pay you this, but we're reinstating the contract. Mm-hmm. Rick, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I guess what wasn't privy to the adjudication, so I don't know what was asked for. And
well, of course, none of us were. We have to make shit up. It's part about being on this podcast, okay?
Well, I'll go back to, I guess he just wanted his $75,000 and didn't want to be reinstated.
You know how many hours you have to work at Chick-fil-A for $75,000? Just
3
saying.
years.
Just saying.
Does that include selling fentanyl at the back door at the same time as you're working there, or just your Chick-fil-A money?
You got to work your way up to that position.
Okay.
So,
manager.
There you go. That's a terrible thing to say, Richard McDonald.
I'm a terrible person.
Yes, I know that.
Did you see where he's from?
Yeah, I know.
Yazoo. Born in Yazoo, Michigan, or Mississippi.
Oh my God. So I wasn't that far off.
No.
Do they have running water in Mississippi?
$75,000 is a lot of money. $75,000 is a lot of money in Mississippi.
Oh, you could probably buy 3 double wides for that. Just saying.
I was watching some TikTok the other day, and there's some place in Florida right now that it's a little itty bitty small town, and they have 24 24,000 houses for sale.
24,000?
24,000 houses listed for sale in this little town, little county in Florida. It's
And
like
how much
everybody
were
is
they?
Not much.
Okay.
It's like you could go down there and buy them for 10 cents on the dollar. That's about what the Canadian dollars were, so it would be on par. But
Yeah, pretty
okay.
much.
Pretty close. Pretty
So-
close.
Pretty close.
I was
Okay.
trying to justify a way I can go to Vegas this year, but I can't do it
Why?
because the dollar is so shitty.
Difference does it make? It's just money.
Oh, it's still money. I don't like to
Money's a
give them
fiction.
anything.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, okay. I know
It's
that.
it's
I know
all
that.
made up.
It is.
So then
It
what
is,
difference
I
does it
agree.
make? Go to Las Vegas. Just do it.
Yeah, you just don't do that kind of stuff, Christopher. I'm a very frugal kind of guy.
A responsible adult.
Come a long
I
way, haven't I, brother?
There's no
As a
intelligent response to
And
this.
as
None.
of Friday,
I wasn't even gonna try.
As of
Yeah.
Friday, I'm unemployed, so
That's it. I'm gonna
Nothing.
go buy some more guns.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah.
I think we worked our way through this podcast to the point where it's going nowhere fast.
It absolutely. Is there anything else that you guys would like to talk? Is there anything going on? How about the combine? Is there anything interesting you want to discuss about the combine?
One thing. Keep,
Is there
keep
anything
an,
interesting about the combine?
keep a name
Rick,
in
go
mind.
ahead. What's that?
Okay.
Sam Davenport. Remember that name.
Stan
Sam.
Davenport?
Sam Davenport.
UBC
Okay.
grad. He will be playing for somebody in the CFL this coming season, I'm sure.
I've actually heard that name.
Okay. Oh, weren't we going to talk about this quarterback that Saskatchewan Roughriders just put on their
Oh
neg
yeah,
list?
Trey Lance.
Who is he?
Who?
He was a highly touted quarterback. They thought he was going to be the next starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. He was very highly touted. He ended up losing his job to the guy that was the very last pick in the NFL draft, Brock Purdy. I believe he went to the Dallas Cowboys, did nothing there, and now he can't find a job in the NFL. And then just recently, I think in the last day or so, the Saskatchewan Roughriders has put Trey Lance on their negotiating list.
Right.
Which
And the New
I
York
can't
Post.
remember. Was it the New York Post? Okay.
The New York Post says
Basi-
Trey Lance, NFL free agents, has reached rock bottom with the Canadian Football League interest.
That was literally their headline.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. Oh, is that working? No, it didn't.
You
It
can't
didn't
really
come up.
see it. Oh, the closer you put it, that's going out.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
raise
work.
it a little
That's-
higher.
That's literally the headline. It is Trey Lance's NFL free agency has reached rock bottom with Canadian team interested. Oh, well. And you know what? Maybe if it was like BC or Toronto or somebody was interested, but it's Saskatchewan. I mean, shit, man. You know what the downside about this doing our podcast on not doing it on Blog Talk is I don't have that Saskatchewan blows.
Yeah.
Right.
That little sound clip from what was the name of that show? Ballers?
Ballers.
Ballers.
Yeah.
Ballers with Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne the
Yeah,
Rock
he's going to
Johnson.
finish his career in Saskatchewan. Have you ever been to Saskatchewan? No. Saskatchewan sucks. It's a true story. Been there. I actually spent a year and a half in Saskatchewan. It was the longest decade of my life.
Drove through it a few times. That's enough.
Yeah.
I have too, but
Okay.
it was dark out.
It was QR code. Good thing. Okay, so is this the end of the show?
Think so.
It appears that
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
We never did figure out what the podcast number is. I'll have to do that before I upload it. Anyhow, this has been Let's Talk CFL podcast. I've been your host, Christopher Jones. We got Charles Cliff, Will McDonald, and Rick McDonald. Say goodnight, Charles.
Good night, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
And you guys got to stick around until we're finished, okay? Will,
Okay.
say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. I cannot wait for football. I do believe we are 82 days away from the home opener in Calgary. So
Interesting. Actually, I think if you go to the CFL.ca and go to schedule and the first game up there, it will give you a countdown on it.
I believe it does, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And Rick, say goodnight. Welcome to the show, buddy. Thanks for coming back.
Happy to be back, and good night to all you CFLers.
Okay, buddy. We're out of here. I'm turning this off.
okay, later,
Stop
Gator.
recording.